He's back! And now, in his 11th NBA season out of Washington State University, number 11, Klay Thompson!
Oh, he is back. Everyone's so excited for this. Ryan, time for some quick takes. Klay Thompson making his long-awaited debut after a 31-month layoff, returning to the floor from separate ACL and Achilles injuries and scoring 17 points in 20 minutes with that win over the Cavs. Ryan, what do you think about Klay's return?
I think it was absolutely phenomenal. This is a guy that's not known for dunking on folks, not known for his athleticism, and he came out and showed it right away. He got up 18 shots in 20 minutes. That's the Klay Thompson that we want to see. He'd been chomping at the bit for this opportunity, and he said this was right below winning a championship. Amazing to see Klay back.
And next up, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies keep soaring to new heights. Morant's two-handed chase down block on Lakers guard Avery Bradley was the highlight of the night. Ryan, is this one of the better blocks that you've seen?
This absolutely is one of the better blocks that I've seen, and I wish y'all could run it back to when Michael Jordan was playing with the Wizards and he got to face the Chicago Bulls and he pinned that thing against the backboard. Then he looked at them boys like, you know who I'm the GOAT. Ja Morant is the guy who's the top 5 in the MVP voting right now. This is the team that went on a streak while he was hurt. Now that he's back, he's showing and proving that he's one of the best point guards in the world today.
Really nothing he can't do. Okay, guys, let's go back to football.
Before you respond, RC, Monica, I know you're not sold on Klay's return making a huge difference, but where are you on that, Perk?
It's hard to say because, you know, when you're dealing with a guy that had a torn ACL on one leg and a torn Achilles, and I understand you had the technology and all this, but you still got to see him out there. And I know Kevin Durant came back off of one injury, the torn Achilles, but it took him a while. But KD is just a special breed. I understand Klay is the shooter, but he was supposed to be back on Christmas. He's not back yet, so it's going to take him time. And then when
there's no need to rush him back. There's no need. Look where they are. They're in great positioning.
Yeah, but you still want to have that rhythm because when he do come back, now you got to redefine roles. That part. All of a sudden, Jordan Poole is not going to get those shots he was getting, right? His shots are going to go down. He's probably going to go to the third or fourth option. Andrew Wiggins is not going to be that guy no more. It's going to be Steph, Klay in that order. So now you got to get your bench together. You got to see where Wiseman is going to fit in. So all those things play a factor where the Suns already have this.
By no means do I think it will be a detriment, but I think we have to acknowledge that all of those role players, Poole, Wiggins, so on and so forth down the line, Gary Payton Jr., they have worked to earn the minutes that they have at this point. And to act as if, kumbaya, my time, like, great. Yes, in terms of the macro and the big picture, eventually that may come, but you're talking about professional athletes who want the opportunity to contribute on a championship run. And so, yes, they're excited to have their other Splash Brother back, but there's still going to be some growing pains with that.
Yeah, can you turn your lights back?
Lights back on?
Your presence is really a gift right now.
Guys.
Go ahead, RC.
No, like I understand, right? It's growing pains, and I've had this conversation before. It won't be seamless to acclimate Klay back into things because obviously you get a rotation. Jordan Poole understands that when Steph Curry is out of the game, it's his turn to control the basketball. It's his turn to take the ball to the hole. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins has had nights where he's been big from outside. We've also seen him slash. But adding Klay Thompson, that championship pedigree, getting that size back, and James Wiseman, some of the things you talked about that the Phoenix Suns has, all of that helps. And when you have a guy like Steve Kerr, who is at the helm, who's understood how to push so many different buttons with different levels of talent on that team, I think they figure out a way that by the time the playoffs are here, they're hitting things, they have continuity, they have chemistry, and they do have the championship pedigree. Because unlike the Phoenix Suns, who have been there, the Golden State Warriors are going to have 4 players who have done that. And that's a whole different level of understanding, experience, and accomplishment.
Okay, let's just get this on the record, shall we? So we're picking the West right now, Christmas Eve, and you're putting your money on the Suns.
For the West altogether or Christmas Day game?
No, for the West altogether, not
more Warriors, right? As Klay Thompson is set to return, and his return is getting closer every single day. So, of course, Golden State does already have the best record in the league. They have the best defense in the league. They are the top 5 in points in the league, in field goal percentage, in three-pointers, in assists per game. I could keep going, right? But so what percentage, Mike Wilbon, do the Warriors need Klay Thompson to be at in order to win a championship?
I'm gonna parse words here, Malika. Because there are two different things that are being required, right? In my opinion. So what percentage of himself does Klay Thompson need to be? And then you want him to be 80, just because I don't want to see him injured again. I don't want to see him struggling. I know it's going to take time. I'm trying to have a reasonable set of expectations for what Klay Thompson's going to do. So I want him to be 80% of himself. Do the Warriors need like Klay Thompson at 80%? I don't think so. I think the Warriors are on track right now. Phoenix would be maybe not just a tough out, but may not be able to beat them. Same thing with Utah, just in the West. But I don't think they have to depend heavily on Klay Thompson to keep on this trajectory. I don't.
Same page. I don't think they have to depend on him, but I think he has to be 81%.
Okay.
81. I see what you did there.
I respect it.
He was making a little call back.
No question about it. Because you got to respect the game, right? Phoenix is a really great team. So are the Utah Jazz. And the game changes once the playoff happens. And Klay Thompson is a lockdown defender. That's the one thing he's been missing a couple of seasons due to injury that people sleep on. And he's going to be able to move laterally. And therefore, he got to at least be 81% to be that guy defensively. He's going to be able to make shots. He's going to be able to do that blindfolded. But in respecting the journey and Devin Booker and Spider Mitchell, I think he has to be at least 81%.
Okay, so I know a lot of times, you think that we're just throwing out these arbitrary percentages. I said 75% because look, if you say 75%, based off of his averages from his last healthy year, if he's 75%, that means he's basically going to give you 16 points a night. That means if Klay can give you, 45% from the field, 41% from three, but he's about 75% of who he is, that means he's not 21, that means he's 16. If they're adding a 16-point-a-game score at this point in time in the season, then to me, that's pretty, I don't want to say a wrap, but that means that they are the clear-cut favorite and everybody else is trying to catch up.
All right, well, I'm going to go with 70%. And I'm getting that number from talking to Draymond Green. He says, look, if Klay comes back and is a shell of himself, we're going to be okay. But if Klay comes back anything higher, 70, 75, 80% of them, then that's when he believes that the rest of the league is going to be in a little bit of trouble. And they're going to need it too, Malika, because look at what the Suns are doing, to go back to them for a second. When you get a young player like Jalen Smith, you've added a player out of nowhere. Jalen Smith wasn't being counted on when this season started, and they won 18 in a row. Now, all of a sudden, Jalen Smith, with a six-game stretch now, is averaging like 16 and 6 and shooting 60%. So you've got a guy, and so the Warriors are not going to add size. It's unlikely. But they got to add where they can add.
Wiseman is size.
They like Kevon Looney. They're using Nemanja Bjelica.
Yeah. But adding Wiseman makes the Warriors play different. These bigs, the Suns can play the same.
JaVale.
They just rinse and repeat. Set the pick, roll to the front of the rim. Every 3 to 5 plays, Chris Paul going to find you for a layup or a dunk.
No question.
Oh, so 70.